while we were there. But what we were trying to do, you see, is to find out why Lord Rotherwick bars the general public from this magnificent forest. And we weren't just sort of trying to find out what he does with his washing machine or his chairs. This is a 1,500-acre
that's why
area.
David says the reason that people ban them is because they would behave badly.
Yes.
Well, what we found out later was that one of the main uses of Wychwood is for deer stalking and for pheasant shooting. And the thing is, you see, that, I mean, you can say, well, you must keep the public out of everywhere because they might damage wildlife. But that's why we went to Richard Mabey, the naturalist and landowner, to find out his response, and he thought it was a jolly good thing having the right to roam.
Okay, fair enough, I accept that perfectly okay, but I would put to you the fact that Richard Mabey's own area of land works as, if you like, in effect, a mini Open University course for people who would like to be Dr. David Bellamy, only works because there is not a right to roam that you would have. If you threw open the whole of the land to anyone and everyone, you would have people go-kart racing, dragster racing, dumping cars,
because
anything.
You feel privileged, you're well behaved.
Yes, it's basically that it would throw open the land to misuse by people who don't know about the land and they just decide, what can we do today? Let's go out and trash it.
Could I take you back to a basic, David? Do you simply believe that since these folk own it, they've got the right to decide whether people come on it or not?
Well, of course, yes. I mean, taking it in my own experience, if somebody wants to come into my back garden and start stomping all over my back garden, I'm not going to be particularly happy. It's the question of whether or not it's right for them to own so much land is neither here nor there. The fact is they do, and you deal with things as they are, not what might be. You could go on ages talking about if-onlys. But the fact is, if you own some land, you are right to do what you want with it. I would sit in my garden and do exactly what I want, but what I would do might not be what you would do, and what might not be what any of the other people in the studio or even the people watching at home would do.
But you see, a garden and a 5,000-acre estate are a different kettle of fish. I mean,
Not
your garden...
in principle.
No, you see, and in any case, you wouldn't have lots of people tramping over your garden under the right to roam, because, as we explained in the programme, gardens, along with fields of growing crops, and land that's growing very young trees, would be specifically exempted from the right to roam.
Yes, but who would oversee that and make sure that those laws are followed?
Well,
it's a very dangerous precedent.
You see, the thing is, I think you've got to accept that. I mean, my view is that the countryside isn't just like a garden that may cover, say, a 20th of an acre. I mean, if you've got a large estate or a 100-acre estate, it's not just your land, it's really the environment that in some way or other belongs to us all. And I don't want landowners to be able to continue to disbar their fellow citizens from the earth that God created.
This is the basic thing, isn't it? It's that old English slogan certainly of the dissenters, that God gave the land to the people. You're saying that it belongs to the people who own it or lease it.
No, the people, I mean, it's a great intangible, the people. We could go on for hours about the people.
Yeah. Can I just give you one example of a case that we filmed when we were making the programme, where we were trying to look at damage that the public might cause if places were opened up, which we didn't actually use in the programme because there wasn't space. And that was on the northern edge of Luton in South Bedfordshire. And in that case, there was a small wood, only 40 acres, surrounded on three sides by housing estates, with about 50,000 people living within 1 mile. 18 months ago, there was no access, wire fences around. But then the Woodland Trust bought the wood, and they opened it up so people can freely walk there.
Marion, we've seen the programme. Don't describe it to us, because I think David's here as the complainant. And you would argue that the countryside scene there is something that's been created by farmers and by landowners.
The basic simple point is, in effect, you cannot preserve the country in aspic. If you did that, you wouldn't have potatoes in this country for a start. The country, I would put to you, has been in a constant state of change from the year dot. And so to say that this cannot be interfered with is a total non-starter.
Well, because if you did say that, Marion, most of England would still be under forest, wouldn't it?
Yes.
That's right, yeah. Can I just finish the Luton example? The thing is that there was less damage and vandalism and so on after the wood was opened up than it was before, because before people felt frustrated, and afterwards they had a stake in the place.
Okay, but that would only...
No, I'm not trying...
Don't go back to specifics. Let's go to the general point.
I'm not trying to preserve the countryside exactly what it is. But the point is, at the moment, what happens in the countryside is dictated by what a tiny minority want to happen, the owners of rural land. And I want to give the whole of the community a say in the destiny of the countryside. They're not going to keep it exactly as it is. But I mean, they may not want to see 3 million acres, extra acres under conifer plantations within the next few years.
That is a totally impossible situation to say to the whole community, you all have a say in running the land, because your average person in an inner city area has no knowledge of the land, and if he's in a terrible inner city area, he's having a tough enough time just surviving in an inner city to even care about the land.
But I mean, townspeople, I believe, have a right to a say in what happens in the countryside. Most people don't live in the countryside.
This has to be your last say, so if you could just sum up your position briefly for me.
Well, I'm not trying to nationalise the land, but I do believe that we need to abridge the rights of landowners so that they can no longer keep everybody out of some of the most attractive areas, and so that they have to, so that they can no longer decide exactly what happens to the future of the landscape.
And the last word to you as the critical viewer, David.
Fine. I would actually agree with you on some of the points. I thought they were very useful, but I think that a golden opportunity to talk about the environment was messed up by unrealistic attitudes as to the acceptance and knowledge of people about the environment. It could have been wonderful, but I'm afraid in various parts, no, forget it. Sorry.
David Etheridge, my shard. Thank you.
Thank you.
A complaint now about a programme made 3 years ago about the seaside resort of Saltburn in the northeast of England. The programme, made by a local independent production company, showed Saltburn as a sad, declining resort in a series of poignant images shot back in 1984. If that gloomy film had to be shown now, it should have been updated to give the good news, says this video box viewer, speaking on behalf of Langbath Borough Council.
The spoken and written introduction to the Channel 4 film The End of the Pier gave the impression that the northeast seaside resort of Saltburn was fading or failing. Now, this may have been the case in 1984 when that film was made, but it's now a hard fact that the Saltburn of 1987 is alive and well and is very active indeed. For instance, in 1986, the Saltburn 125 celebration attracted 40,000 people. The resort won the English Tourist Board Award for Best Promotion, the Northumbria Tourist Board Enterprise Initiative Award, and it's also been in the finals of the Local Government Tourist Authority of the Year Award. And all that is against competition from major holiday resorts. At the moment, the people of Saltburn, fully supported by the Langbath Borough Council and the local business association, are putting hours of hard work into this year's Saltburn Victorian celebration, starting on August the 10th. It's hoped that 100,000 people might visit Saltburn this year. It's hardly a fading resort.
A complaint about scheduling now. Have you managed to catch this?
Julie?
Rich Man, Poor Man on Channel 4 is an American series with an all-star cast. It got big audiences when it first played on ITV. So why is Channel 4 showing it so early?
My name is Michael Coyne. I'd like to protest at Channel 4's scheduling of Rich Man, Poor Man. This series, widely acknowledged as a classic, has been absent from our screens for 10 years, yet Channel 4 has brought it back with absolutely no fanfare or publicity and relegated it to a 2:30 slot on a weekday afternoon so that very few people knew it was being repeated, and fewer still are able to benefit from that repeat. TV Times recently referred to Rich Man, Poor Man, saying, "Another opportunity to see one of TV's most successful series begins. Another opportunity for whom? Channel 4 have repeated Upstairs, Downstairs, Brideshead Revisited, Joe and the Crown, and The Power Game, which is twice as old as Rich Man, Poor Man, at prime time slots, usually at a weekend. So why has Rich Man, Poor Man been virtually victimised? I can only hope that Channel 4, which has usually shown a great regard for its viewers' tastes, would sometime in the near future give the majority of people the opportunity, or at least the option, to enjoy this excellent series."
Well, Channel 4's chief executive told us...
Sorry, no. We do not have space in mid-evening for Rich Man, Poor Man. Anyway, we believe afternoon viewers deserve the best too.
While we're on about scheduling, there was a report this week that Channel 4 might start its own breakfast service. And at night, both Channel 4 and ITV plan to be on almost all night, every night, by next year. It's all too much for this non-viewer in the video box.
I make an appeal on behalf of those people who don't watch television. Our non-viewing time is being cut. Suddenly the programmes are extending later and later. There'll be nothing left for us, not even a test card before breakfast TV strides into our living room. We non-viewers will be left only with the forlorn hope of a technical hitch. Give us that transient thrill of normal service will be resumed as soon as possible. Even the technicians can't be relied on anymore to go on strike and bring programmes to a grinding close. What is the TV world coming to? So I appeal to you, programme makers, to listen to this cry from the hearts of so many of us out here. Include a few more tape breakdowns. Ensure severe interference from the continent for a few minutes a day. Hold a few celebrational studio fires just for our benefit. Don't try and palm us non-viewers off with a Brazilian drama documentary about sugarcane technology or a New York video artist season. We won't stand for second best. We want quality non-viewing, and we want it now!
Well, to talk back to television, use your right reply in one of our 6 video boxes. If you live in or near the Bradford area, or are just visiting, we have a video box there. It's at the National Museum of Photography, Film and Television, which is very easy to find in the city centre of Bradford. Or you can write to us at Right Reply, Channel 4 Television, 60 Charlotte Street, London W1P 2AX. And if you've got a daytime phone number, put it in your letter in case we want to ring you back. Or you can phone us on 01631 4444. That number and our address and where you can find the video boxes are also under our billing in the TV Times. Remember, it is your right reply, so please use it. Good night.
Well, it seems that the human being has eyes somewhat larger than his stomach when it comes to killing for food, compared to other animals who for the most part just take what they need and no more. Another lesson to be learned when we view the hunters and the hunted in close and sometimes distressing detail in Ourselves and Other Animals, coming up next after the break.
Night, Mum.
Night, boys.
Mum, are my cricket things ready?
Cricket things?
You mean these?
Oh, now you tell me. Well, you'll just have to wear them dirty.
Oh, Mum, it's the team photo tomorrow.
Well, you'll just have to fold your arms.
Oh, Mum.
Oh, you said he could fold his arms.
If I can't get this out in one go, he'll still have to.
She's right. If she uses an ordinary biological powder on fibre-deep stains like blackcurrant juice, one wash may not be enough. But let's go back and start again, this time with New Bold 3. New Bold is a boosted biological powder with a penetrating power to clean fibre-deep stains, first time, more of the time. Leaves things soft, too.
Bye, Mum.
Oh, don't forget your kit.
Thanks, Mum. You should do it.
New Bold 3 cleans first time, more of the time.
Daddy, have you seen my... Mum is going to be very cross with you.
Cross? Why?
Because That's her Felix for her hand.
It's for getting dishes clean.
Mummy says these bubbles are soft and gentle and tied to her hand.
Well, it's done a very good job on these dishes, hasn't it?
Yes.
And are my hands soft?
Well, they're the sort of Mummy's hand. But that's because you don't do as much washing up as Mummy does.
Now hands that these dishes can feel soft with mild green, very liquid.
Did you know you can have April freshness and save money? Lenore Triple Concentrate gives April freshness for up to 25% less than most regular fabric conditioners.
One of these famous cat foods is new Catamite. Can Eric, who's not a Catamite fan, tell which?
You're the one that I want. You are the one I want. Ooh, 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 honey. The one that I want. You are the one I want. Ooh, 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 honey.
Well, let's see which one Eric preferred. Oh dear, Arthur's let the cat out of the bag. Catamite is now 100% meat in jelly. Anything else is a poor substitute.
You're so insensitive.
I'm insensitive. Stop the car.
Now what?
I would rather walk.
Right. Look, there's no need to be so stupid.
When you need something special but quick, try a stir-fry from Ross. Such clever combinations of meat or seafood, vegetables and spices. You'll make it up in 5 minutes.
Hi.
I don't like Mexican chili.
No, you wouldn't, would you? There's Chinese chicken, Chinese prawns, Japanese beef, tandoori prawns.
Ross stir-fry. Whatever will they cook up next?
Now look what you've done.
Hold on, I'll get him.
There aren't any sharks in here, are there?
No.
Crocodiles ate all the sharks.
Australians wouldn't give a Castlemaine 4X for anything else.
The scenes of death we're about to see may be upsetting, but they do illustrate the difference between hunting for survival and just plain greed. It's a distinguishing factor when talking about ourselves and other animals.